Hello guys, and welcome to the new episode. I would like to remind you that if you have any suggestions regarding the quality or improvements in the video, please let me know in the comments, and if you don't like the playback speed, you can adjust it from the video settings. Zach asked Namsu how much time was left for the meeting. 20 minutes, Namsu replied. Zach picks himself up and decides to go for the deal. As the scammers were waiting for their victims, they were discussing about the deal. Woojin told his guys, the kid they robbed yesterday brought his friend, but he messed him up as well. His girlfriend brought the buyers, and they're ready for the deal. Woojin recognized Zach and starts laughing. He told his guys it was the same person he knocked out before. He asks them why were they back, do they want another beating, just like he did to Namsu. After hearing this, Vasco steps forward, but Zach stops him and said he'll go first. He steps forward and calls out all three of them. After hearing this, they started mocking Zach, and Daniel was freaking out after watching all this. The tall one comes forward and told Zach that he's funny. The girl tells us that he's good at sneak attacks. He tried to distract Zach with his questions as he closed the distance, just like before. He tried to land a kick, but Zach dodged and slammed his face into the wall. All of his friends were shocked watching this. As he knocked him out, he calls out the next one. Daniel looked at Zach and thinks he's tough. Zach starts to wobble and Vasco immediately realized Zach was tired. He wants to get involved but Zach refuses it. Vasco looks at him with confusion. Zach looks at Mira and told himself that he got this under control. The fat one charges towards Zach and tries to grab him. Zach dodged and punched him. He tries again, but one after the another Zach lands multiple jabs. He clenched his fist and again landed a flurry of punches. Everyone except Vasco was surprised after watching Zach's speed. Woojin gets intimidated by Zach. He thought Zach was good. He saw Zach's legs shaking and thinks he has reached his limits. He thought Zach must be tired and the others must be useless as he launched towards him. He throws multiple strikes, but Zach blocked them. He told Zach he was in nationals. As he kept on striking, Zach lands a body shot which did a lot of damage. Daniel recognizes that move. It was the same punch he used on Zach. Zach stood tall and told the scammer that speed isn't everything and being in nationals means nothing. Zach was able to recover his honor in front of Mira, and this made him happy. One of them called the other members of their gang, and Vasco decides to step forward. All of them got intimidated by his looks, and they wonder whether he was a gangster. Vasco told Daniel to have his back, which scared him. All of a sudden, many bikes stopped, and the burned knuckles were there. Jace told Vasco to rest. The scammer immediately recognized the mark and realized he was in trouble. One after the another, the members of Burn Knuckle knocked out each one of them. Vasco asked Jace how was he able to find him. Jace replied that they're friends and they communicate telepathically. But in reality, Jace secretly installed a tracking app on Vasco's phone. And this is how he was able to track Vasco. Vasco told his guys that they shouldn't be there, and they must wear helmets. As he was talking to them, suddenly the fat one attacked him from behind and grabbed his shoulders. Vasco effortlessly raised his arms and demonstrated his physical strength. He grabbed his shoulder with just one hand and was able to drop him on the ground. Woojin was surprised watching Vasco's strength. He was wondering where were all the juniors. He called them, but they were not picking up. Jay was sitting and enjoying his smoke and the juniors were biting the dust. Few minutes ago, Jay heard their conversation and analyzed the situation. He heard them talking. 3 guys attacked Woojin and figured out the rest. As Jay was having his good time, 2 guys came from behind and asked whether he did all this. This surprised Jay and he stood up. They told him not to worry, and the guys he just beat up were their bullies. He told Jay that he should quit smoking, and he might get a girlfriend. Woojin charges towards Daniel because he thinks Daniel was a coward, and he was his only way out because Zach and Vasco were too strong for Woojin.